Welcome to the Daily Reflection for Tuesday, January 7th. The Gospel reading for today's daily Mass comes to us from the 6th chapter of St. Mark's Gospel. It reads, When Jesus saw the vast crowd, his heart was moved with pity for them, for they were like sheep without a shepherd, and he began to teach them many things. By now it was already late, and his disciples approached him and said, This is a deserted place, and it's already very late. Dismiss them so they can go to the surrounding farms and villages and buy themselves something to eat. He said to them in reply, Give them some food yourselves. But they said to him, Are we to buy 200 days' wages worth of food and give it to them to eat? He asked them, How many loaves do you have? Go and see. And when they found out, they said, 5 loaves and 2 fish. So he gave orders to them to sit down in groups on the green grass. The people took their places in rows by hundreds and by 50s. Then taking the 5 loaves and the 2 fish, and looking up to heaven, he said the blessing, broke the loaves, and gave them to his disciples to set before the people. He also divided the 2 fish among them all. They all ate and were satisfied. And they picked up 12 wicker baskets full of fragments, and what was left of the fish. Those who ate of the loaves were 5,000 men. Today's gospel passage has a couple different ways of approaching it. I think the first way of approaching this gospel passage is that all these people gathered around Jesus because he was speaking to what was most important in their lives. Jesus described them as sheep without a shepherd, as those who are lost. But again, these people, with their encounter in Jesus Christ, knew that that's exactly where they needed to be, in a deserted place, without food, without resources, because something special was happening there. So they were prioritizing their time with Jesus Christ over anything else in their lives. And that in of itself is something worthy of reflection, because many times in our own lives we prioritize the things of this world over of what we're supposed to be doing for Christ. And that's why prayer, fasting, and almsgiving is sometimes very hard for us, because again, we prioritize the things of this world over our relationship with God, his Son Jesus Christ. But again, these people had made the right choice, even though it was very clear that there were some other things that they would have to eventually address in their lives, specifically how we were going to feed ourselves, how we were going to shelter ourselves, how we were going to take care of ourselves in this deserted, desolate place. But this is where we also can see that Jesus, speaking to the most important aspects of their lives, was also cared about their material well-being. So this great miracle, the multiplication of loaves and fishes, shows forth that Jesus cares even about, again, their material or physical well-being. And for the disciples' part, they did not believe something like that could happen. But again, if we choose Christ, if we prioritize him, if we seek him out in most aspects of our lives, what will happen is that he, through his grace, will take care of the other aspects of our lives. The physical needs, the emotional needs, the fact that some things we've been working on for a long time and all of a sudden they get resolved. The most important thing is prioritizing our relationship with Christ, and then again, everything else will fall into place. Now, one important caveat to this discussion is that we can't be lazy, and furthermore, we shouldn't be presumptuous in the fact that God will cure us of all of our laziness, all of our sinfulness, all the things that are wrong in our lives. But I do believe that this particular gospel calls us to a deeper faith, hope, and trust in our God, especially if we are seeking him with a sincere heart, prioritizing our lives around him, And again, he will provide for all other aspects of our lives in the way that he provided for these 5,000 in today's gospel passage, and showed forth to his disciples that again, we can worry, we can have doubt, but again, we have to take these things to Christ so that he, who is Lord of Lords, King of Kings, can address those in our lives and the lives of others. Thanks for listening, and have a blessed day.